What has the 2023 budget done for property investors? Let's take a look today. Hi, I'm Shapcotts, qualified chartered accountant, property investor and entrepreneur. Let's sit down and have a chat. Budget 2023. What has happened and what has happened for landlords? Well, to be honest, let's say not really an awful lot has happened to help landlords or really to do anything for landlords whatsoever. So before you turn off this video, please do stick with me, and what we're going to just have a look at is the more round and about impact for you as a landlord, really based on what has been happening for your tenants, for the people who are looking for properties, to help see how is this potentially going to be helping you as a landlord. So some of the first things that I'm going to mention are, there's obviously been a reduction in employee national insurance, which as a landlord you're probably going, that has absolutely no specific impact on you, which I completely agree with. However, this is going to help your tenants. So hopefully this does mean that for your tenants, their rent is more affordable. And if over this next little while you are thinking about rent increases, because you do need to be thinking about rent increases to ensure you're covering your interest charges on your mortgage if they are going up, and also make sure you're keeping your rent about where the market rate is, then this is a positive because it means that they will have more disposable income. They may not want to be spending it on rent, but it does mean that it makes things that little bit more affordable for them. Unfortunately, for those with properties in companies, the dividend tax rate is still going to be costing us a little bit more, because the rates that you can get dividends out your company at 0% are reducing and they have not changed. This is going from £1,000 in the 23-24 tax year to £500 in the 24-25 tax year and going forward. We already knew this was going to happen, so it's nothing new. The hope was they might increase it. It was probably a long shot if we were thinking that, but that is going to be the same, and there's not actually any changes there. It's just that unfortunately we're going to have to take that extra tax charge that is going to be hitting us. If you are sticking to the basic rate band, that tax charge is only going to be the 8.75%, so it is quite a minimal tax charge on the extra £500. However, if you're going into the higher rates of tax, then this will take you up to the 33.75% or the 39.35% if you're on that top rate of tax. Obviously, as a limited company, you do have the choice of how much tax you would pay as an individual, so you can choose what you want to be paying based on how much money you are taking out of that property company. One of the big things that came in the budget was that they made self-employment a lot, I say cheaper, not really cheaper, but they did help cut some of the taxes. So they are removing Class 2 national insurance for those that are paying it, and they are reducing Class 4 national insurance from 9% down to 8%. In itself, this has absolutely no direct impact on us as landlords. However, if you have any tenants who are self-employed, this is obviously again going to be helping them, because they're going to have more disposable income. Rather than paying it to the taxman, they will have that in their pocket. So if there is any rent increases or any issues from an affordability point of view for them, hopefully this will just help and ensure that your tenants are paying their rent in full to you each month. The national living wage is continuing onwards, so this is obviously helping from an affordability point of view, because anyone who is 21 years and above will be getting the national living wage. This is going up to £11.44, and that's what they'll be paid per hour. So any of your tenants who are on this sort of wage, hopefully that will again make things affordable for them, and they'll be paying their rent on time in full each month or week to you. For British businesses, they have brought in the full expensing relief, which is probably similar to annual investment allowance. So in general, it's not going to have a big impact for most businesses, most property companies, especially on the basis for most property companies, if you're doing buy-to-lets or HMOs, you can't actually claim the capital allowances anyhow. For those who are doing serviced accommodation or sourcing or anything like this, then that relief is available. However, with the annual investment allowance already in place, you're probably not fully utilising this relief anyhow, which means the actual impact for you is probably going to be minimal at this point in time. For any of you that are paying business rates, these are being frozen. So this may be a help for any of those that are paying business rates, although for those property investors that I'm speaking to, there's probably not many of you that are actually paying business rates. So this is probably going to be a small impact on us as a property investing community. The corporation tax rates have all stayed the same. So we still have the issue of associated companies. So do check out the videos on associated companies if you have more than one company to see what the impact on you is going to be, and the tax rates are the same. So the first 50,000 will be at 19%. If you go over this, you'll be on the marginal tax rate, and when you hit 250,000 profits, you'll be at the 25% tax rate. These haven't changed, and our expectation of this is that they will be around for the time being. Although there was a few rumours going around about capital gains tax having some changes, there has been absolutely no mention of capital gains tax, which means there's no impact, there's no changes. What we have is what we've got at this point in time. The only change that we already knew was coming, that the 2023-24 allowance of 6,000 is going to be going down to 3,000 from the 6th of April 2024, and that rate is going to be sticking with us for the foreseeable future until a future government decides to make any changes to this. In regard to inheritance tax, again, we had the rumours that there may have been something happening, but nothing has come to fruition. So at this point, inheritance tax planning is still a relevant topic, and do check out some of the videos on inheritance tax to see what the right option is for you. Making Tax Digital was mentioned in the budget, but see the separate Making Tax Digital update video on the channel, which will just tell you exactly what has happened with Making Tax Digital. The final thing to mention, that was something that was mentioned quite a bit in the budget, was to do with state benefits. Now, for most of us, we're probably not getting state benefits. Even if we tried, we probably couldn't get any, as we have too many assets under the Universal Credits scheme. However, the reason just to be aware of this is because your tenants may be receiving these benefits. So the key thing here is, if they aren't trying to get work, if they are on benefits and they aren't ticking the boxes, then they may lose their benefits, which obviously will have a direct impact on you. If you are their landlord and they are not getting enough money, they will not be paying their rent. So it's just something to be aware of, so that you can just see what's happening with your tenants if they are on benefits, to make sure that they are obviously doing what they're meant to be doing to ensure that they are maintaining their benefits, or they're out there getting work to make sure they fill the void that there may be. There is a back to work initiative, and if you're not showing commitment to return to work, then benefits will be stopped. This obviously will have a direct impact on us, the landlord, because the rent is probably one of the first expenses that they are likely to stop paying if they cannot afford it. Obviously, this is an area to work with your tenants on, and hopefully get them in a position and support them to ensure that the income is coming back to you. As you can see from everything we've been through today, there is no big hitters for landlords in a tax point of view. If you've got any questions on any of the different points, then please do leave a comment. The budget this year was hopeful to be an exciting and interesting one, but unfortunately it has just been a very safe budget, potentially ahead of an election next year, and we will see what 2024 has to bring for us in our next budget edition and our next edition with what is happening in UK tax. Hopefully today you've discovered exactly what the budget has done for you in 2023. If you have any questions, then please do leave a comment. Please like the video and do subscribe to the channel. And let's make tax less taxing.
less taxing.